I guess, since I can't see you, we'll, do we have a quorum just so we can stop here?
I believe we do,
Yep,
yes.
we do.
Yes.
All right, so, and Secretary, are we ready?
I'm here, yeah. All
Okay,
set.
great, all right, all right. All right, we'll call the meeting to order, the Coventry Land Trust. It is 6:33 PM, and we'll start with a roll call. So I'll start with myself, Glenn Underwood here, Jack Donovan,
Here.
Rory,
Here.
Linda,
Here.
Joyce,
Here,
Josh,
Here.
did I get everybody? Did I go down?
Dennis.
Dennis,
Well, yeah, I got Dennis. You wrote him down first. All right, Dennis, so we got a full 7, and who else do we have?
John Studley, Planning and Zoning.
John Studley, planning, okay. And anybody else on the call?
I don't think so, Glenn.
Okay. All right, we do have a quorum. The meeting has been posted. The agenda's been posted in accordance with public meeting. First thing on our agenda is approval of the May 18th, 2021 minutes. Do I hear a motion for the approved minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion made by Linda, seconded by Dennis. Any further discussion? Doing a roll call. Glenn Underwood approves the minutes. Jack,
Aye.
Rory,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Joyce,
Aye.
Joyce,
Oh, sorry.
aye.
aye. Okay, Joshua
Aye.
and Dennis.
Aye.
Okay. All right, moving down the agenda here. Ongoing business, land trust finances. We did get a financial report. Did everybody get a copy of that? I think it was sent out today.
Yes.
I don't think I got one. Joyce here. I can check with Gail in planning.
Of course, I think he
Okay.
probably sent it to your site at the library, you know. Hmm.
I did get a packet from her, from Dennis.
Okay, I don't know whether she printed out the number, another additional stuff today with add the finances. Basically, did anybody have a question, or, I mean, this is the first time it's a little different format than what we've seen it in the past. So if anyone has a question.
I do have a comment.
Yeah.
I came up with the land trust funds to be 1,708,271. So we're off by $2,779. They came up with 705. I don't know if that's a major point or not.
Well, it is in business, right?
Right, correct.
$1,000.
Yep. But I think that the difference could, well, I went, unless the settlement when they did Heritage Estates has added costs that they plugged in that I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I went strictly off the grant.
Could that be the cost of an appraisal, a skinny appraisal or something?
Without seeing the settlement sheet, I hate to spec that. Because that was on the grant. That appraisal number was already there.
Okay.
We have an appraisal out for Leah Kavanaugh.
No, this is the budget. Financial sheet.
Okay, all right.
All right, and I think that the what I saw was a little convoluted, was just the entries. There was no description really as for
Correct.
any of the transactions, which looked like, we saw money coming in. It looks like monthly now. We're getting money coming in. Is that what everyone looked at, the the way that the money was flowing. It looks like each month instead of one big chunk of money.
think-
um,
Well, I looked at that and I didn't study that quick because this, to me, at the moment, I don't see no rhyme or reason to it. Because the monthly check, I mean, the check for the fund comes in June, once a year only. I don't.
Yeah, it didn't-
Any past records never showed anything coming in on a monthly basis.
Right. So I think we need to go over this report since we just got it today. And verify the numbers, and we can ask some questions, but it looked on the revenue pages, which were all pages, and then it summed it up by quarter. It looks like there was an allocation each month to the trust fund of sometimes
true, too.
35,000.
Yeah, you could say that. Yes, you could.
So I'm not sure what that was all about.
And that's my question. I think this, plus we're missing the basic, I'll call it the, operational budget sheet that comes out with this, that's broken down by account, by line item, for example, like professional services. Another one could be like FICA.
Yeah, we didn't get that report.
No, but that's questions I would have. That's why these other sheets I pay no attention to, even though they look like they are averaging the cost out over monthly. But I don't understand the purpose, if that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to review them in depth to have any questions or comments. I'd have to come back after reviewing them.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of my questions together and I'll send them off to, I'll copy you, John Studley, and send them to Lori. Like I said, we didn't get our normal operational budget report, which would show what was going against our expense account. We saw,
Right.
this whole thing was the trust account, the big account, and there's a discrepancy in the money that's there. And as Dennis said, unless there was a different charge or something that we didn't see, but without the transaction detail, we can't figure that out. So I will send off questions. We can put that, if we get another report for the July meeting, would be the end of the fiscal year report anyway, so it'll be a good one for us. And this will give everyone time. If you do have a specific question that you want me to ask over to the town side, we can forward that off to them. But I think I know what we're looking for. We didn't get quite all of what we're looking for.
Yeah, Lori, we use the statement of operations, and then we have the general ledger detail, which breaks down that to what you spend in that particular account, which we don't have any of that. Now, whether they have the system that's able to do that now, they're not done, I don't know. So we don't have a way of tracking the detail. This is all
Right.
gross.
So I'm going to ask the detailed descriptions to go with the transaction, so we have the detail.
So if
with
I
that.
may add, I'm sorry. For the first July 2020, that 224,620 is last year's funding. The one that's 269,410 is this year's funding for the land trust. We got $269,000. I can't see that number.
And that's for 2021 or 2022?
2021.
2021, okay.
So
All right, so the bottom line is they're saying we're approximately 1.7 million, and we'll find out the actual, whether it's 1.705 or 1.707 or whatever for the.
I came up with 1.708. They came up with 1.705. for a difference
Yeah.
of $2,779. Again,
Yeah.
I'll say, if it's in the settlement sheet, that extra cost, then this might be solved.
Yep.
Okay. That's what we'll have to get the detail. All right, I will put that as my action item to send another email for the detail to go with the transactions
And
and
can I ask,
also our operating budget.
can I ask a dumb question? Do you think we could sit down with Lori and kind of show piece by piece, like show and tell? So she knows what we're looking for? Or even they have that part of the system implemented, I don't know.
Well, we used to get those stuff, Dennis, so it's not.
Yeah, I know, I agree we did, but they're changing into a new system. So if they're doing
Yeah,
it piecemeal, they might not be ready for what we're asking them to do.
Yeah, I think I can talk with her and I get this straightened out here,
All right,
what we're looking for.
all right, I'm all, okay, I think we're all.
Okay, we will continue that discussion next meeting, and go from there with whatever updates we can get. All right, the next one on our agenda, encourage organized volunteers, outreach avenues, and I'll let Josh take this because he's done such a fantastic job with the organization and getting volunteers. So I'll let you comment and
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
I think we had two solid events at the Bowdoin area for National Trails Day. I just started with the email list that Dennis provided from the last land trust days. Got a couple people to turn out, Linda and Bob. We had a nice turnout, and I think, there ended up being an article in the Kent County Times and Coventry Courier on it. So that was great, good publicity. And then this past weekend, at the, what we'll propose to be the Sullivan Heritage Estates, good turnout, just a little outreach to the Western Coventry community. And yeah, Mrs. Anslow and current principal kind of shared it and got out to a bunch of people. So we had a good turnout, about 20 people this past weekend. It was really great.
Yeah, this last weekend was a great turnout.
It
Yeah.
really was. It was wonderful. And they were, I think, mostly there for Mrs. Sullivan's,
Yep.
in honor of her. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's some great, stories to tell there. I know we talked, Linda, about how to continue to share those stories and maybe, get them
Mhm.
published. So I had asked the reporter Kendra Gravel to come out this past Saturday. She didn't make it. She was busy, but she did reach out to me, ask for a picture. So I was going to send out the group photo. And then if we have a little blurb just to talk about that acquisition of the Sullivan property, kind of continue the positive press. And then I did make a connection with a Boy Scout troop leader as well. So I have an
Okay.
email address for a scout leader. So hopefully we can leverage some Boy Scouts for some future opportunities. And I think the GIS project that we'll talk about later is a good opportunity to send some, scouts out into the woods or whatnot, whatever we have planned there.
I have a list of all the scout leaders for the town of Coventry. So I can forward that list to you, Joshua, maybe if that would
Okay.
help.
Yeah, that'd be
All
great.
right. All right. And I also have the name of a woman who it works at the high school. She's a teacher at the high school. And when my kids were students there, she was heavily involved in environmental volunteer with her classes. Now she's a chemistry teacher. So what they were doing was assessing water quality, but she might be a good person to reach out to find out who at the high school might be interested in sending students our way to help. And her name is Kathleen Sullivan. So I didn't do any outreach myself because I wanted to talk to the group before I contacted anybody in our name, ask what we wanted to have said. But, I have her name. Her name is Kathleen Sullivan, and she's a chemistry teacher at the high school.
Great. Yeah, I think any opportunity to get people either interested or help support, this, I think that, like I said, the GIS thing coming up, I don't know the full scope of what we're planning to do with that, but I think it's a good opportunity to engage. And I think there's a couple other tools that, like, the Rhode Island Forestry Council or DEM have out there for like tracking or monitoring of different species, whether it's frogs, insects, or whatnot, that are an opportunity to encourage the public to come out to the properties and see what they can find. I think we've had good success with birds, but there's probably other good stuff out there.
Right. Oh, yeah. So do you want me to contact Kathleen Sullivan, and what do you want me to say? So, because I'm willing to make that contact, but I'm not exactly sure how you want me to approach her in behalf of the committee.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a vision right now, at least for new volunteers. I'd like to get to the GIS thing, see what we think that'll entail, and yeah, go from there.
Okay.
Coventry High School just won the state envirathon, right? And they're going to nationals, or I think virtually going to nationals to Tennessee. So if Kathleen is involved in that, we just might want to be on kind of like her curriculum, her radar. So we would have
Yeah.
kind of a permanent class of people who would be interested in doing some volunteer projects.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
The other idea I was thinking with the high school, and I think this is just a picture I saw somewhere, was there's a landscape design class maybe.
Oh, right. Yep.
Mhm.
And as we continue to do work in the different properties, a lot of people this past week, and we were talking about all the stone that's available and how it'd be cool to make something or design something on that property. And if we could engage, people who are interested in landscape design and ideas or thoughts, that's another good outreach.
Mhm.
I'll have to find that article or see who the teacher is, talk to
Okay.
the school contacts. I think some of it, Linda, I guess to answer your question, is maybe just starting the connection and having a conversation, right? What is it that they're doing, the envirathon that won the state, or what are the chemistry students doing, and how can we, provide either a location for them to do some study or testing or, investigation, and go from there and see what develops.
Okay.
That's kind of all I've got on, encourage or organize volunteers. Like I said, I think the last couple of weekends were pretty successful, and we'll have to figure out the next work date and just advertise it. So if you guys were advertising it or putting it out there, thank you. And thanks for the effort. I was just there today, and the tires are gone. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jack, for coordinating. And the trail looks great.
Yeah,
Great.
did a lot of work, a lot of progress. Obviously, we got more to move on, but we'll go over that in a minute here.
Yep.
So the next thing, calendar of important dates is on our agenda, and I think, Rory, I
Yep.
may have peddled it off to you to put together and keep building the calendar. So for 2022 especially, we'll be ready to go on top of some of these things.
Yep. It's all set actually for 2022. I've got all the dates. They put them all together, so I'll send them out. What was interesting too, there were so many dates to choose from, but it made me think like there's dates that like, National Turtle Day. Wouldn't that be a nice way to engage people in some type of activity if we pair it with either a walk or something else? Things like, Audubon's birthday, maybe being able to do something with the schools where they, draw pictures of their favorite birds or something. But there's a lot of different things on the calendar, so I will send it out. We can go through it and see which ones we want to keep. If I've missed any, but I want to say there's a couple of dozen, that we would be able to go through and look at.
And I
Okay,
have to
sounds
say
good.
that whenever you can involve people's children,
Yep.
that brings a lot of people out.
Yep.
So,
There's Bug Day, there's, Ladybug Day, there's Snake Day, there's all these different days where they celebrate the species. So even if we just get a newsletter out to the schools, something like that paired with, our information of where you can find us on the town website.
mhm.
All right, good. We can keep that on the agenda and start building that 2022 calendar. And then, as you say, if we get our website up and running good, put that there, and then also get, some people on these email lists and want the dates and stuff and what we're going to do. So we'll make sure once we build that calendar, we have like the events that we're going to choose that we will be able to support. Obviously, we can't support them all because there are so many, but
There are so many. But it
Yeah.
made me think of like some things like different days, you know, there's certain rabbit days and stuff. If there's a way to pair that with a sponsor, maybe get a local, you know, sponsor to, you know, to sponsor that day. If we pair it with a hike or a walk in the woods, you know, like Turtle Day, maybe, you know, the aquarium, Mr. Moffat's aquarium might want to do something like that, or, you know, Tractor Supply Company might want to do Rabbit Day. Like, I don't know, but maybe there's a way to expand upon that as we grow this.
That's a good idea. Also, as a past librarian, I think it would be great to have story hours
Yep.
for little kids. And I know children's literature pretty well. And and I've done story hours and things like that. So I would be willing to do something like that on one of those days, like,
Right.
you know, pair it with 3 stories about rabbits or something like that.
Mhm.
Okay. Yep,
Nice.
that's, we'll keep working that. That's gonna be important, so we can stay on top of things for next year. Moving on, 4.4, potential properties interest, create a form letter to owners, and I think last meeting we discussed, and I think Dennis sent to Josh the pamphlet that we had for the Coventry Land Trust. But I'm not quite sure whether that's what Josh is looking for having, for more of a solicitation letter. So I'll let you discuss that a little bit, Josh.
I think the pamphlets are a good start. Like I said, just in terms of advertising properties or what we already have in place for the land trust is big. So whether it's newspaper articles or outreach to others. But yeah, if we had some outreach letter to have a little blurb history of the land trust, and I think those pamphlets have that. Dennis, you know, did a good job kind of editing them or correcting what he mentioned from previous versions. I think that gives me some good kind of material to work with, either in the newspaper articles or trying to talk to people. I haven't found any new properties or really located any, but it'd be good to keep in mind, especially if we're able to make progress on the ones we have in play, then, you know, start some new ones in the pipe.
So
Okay.
the properties listed as conservation areas on this flyer, they're not just ours. There's also, I see there's listed like Maxwell Maze and some of the Audubon properties, right? Parker
True.
Woodland is Audubon, right? So they're not all land trust properties. Okay. So I was a little confused about that.
Yeah, so maybe it would be worth, you know, editing, revising, and then just having a pamphlet specific to just the land trust properties. And
We
then
talking
maybe,
about the pamphlets, or are we talking about, Something
This thing is what I'm looking at right here.
yeah,
Flyer, I guess it is. It has a list of conservation areas in Coventry, Rhode Island, but there's a lot mentioned that aren't Coventry Land Trust properties, but they're just conservation areas.
it's to pass along the information of saying how other organizations are working with us to conserve land.
Okay, that's
Yes.
fine.
So as a team effort is what we're trying to, you know, pass
Okay.
along, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, I think, you know, the potential properties of interest, a lot of it also relies on people referring properties to us or us doing our own, you know, investigation, watching land, you know, land coming up for sale. A lot of times if it's already up for sale, it's generally, especially now, it's been too late for any preservation activity. So, you know, being proactive, looking at, you know, areas is great. We've got a lot on the table already, but we should be, you know, looking at, you know, keep moving forward and keep our ears open, and that's part of our job, trying to find additional areas to proceed on. Moving on, property safety waivers for volunteers, and obviously we had a big group of volunteers. John Studley, I think the action item was to see whether we had any issues or that you know of, or I'm not sure whether I was going to reach out also, but
Right. So I reached out to Attorney D'Agostino, and he replied back that a waiver is certainly a possibility, but any event, even a land trust event, it's considered town sponsored. So under the Rhode Island Interlocal Risk Management Trust, their insurance policy, the trust would insure the town. And this type of event would be covered under that insurance policy. So he said that he actually wouldn't recommend a waiver for any sort of event that we have, because he said for practical purposes, even if we did have some sort of waiver, it doesn't necessarily prevent a claim, but we are protected nonetheless under the insurance policy.
Okay, so we are
Okay.
just like, okay.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's
Thank you,
good.
John. That was awesome.
So I'm taking this off the agenda.
take it off. Yeah, definitely. Good. Good. That's good. Thanks, John, for follow up there. Next thing on our agenda is grant opportunities. Does anyone have any comments or anything that they've come across that we need to add or discuss? Okay. I believe we just keep on, watching for these things, and occasionally, I know the Champlin Foundation has supported some stuff, and there's a few other organizations. What's more important, grant opportunities are good, but you have to have something in the works, to solidify that you're going after a grant. So it's good to look at these grants, but unless you have a purpose, it's a waste of time to fill them out, because most of them want to know the specific project that you're looking to apply the money for. So if we're looking to purchase additional land and we need grant money, then we have to sort of get that land pretty close to lined up for purchasing. So other opportunities may be for funding certain improvements to the properties, like, we are working on some signage, some of the other things that you could consider that grants may be available for, or something is, a bench or something, so people can sit down at the beginning of the trail or the end of trail to tie their shoes or spray on a tick spray or something. But those are things that I don't think we're quite ready yet. We're still building our trails to develop the
Right.
additional needs.
What about,
Remember, well,
what about bridges on the Bowden property? There were 3 streams we had to cross that were pretty, when we went in the spring, it was difficult to get across those streams without getting wet.
Yeah, and I think when we originally worked on that trail the first time, we had the same issue, and part of the discussion was that when you're building bridges, you have to be careful. One is for how they're built. I just went on the Tillinghast property, and they did a very nice job crossing a wetland with some natural logs that were sort of sliced in half, so you had a flat surface. So it was really rustic looking, and natural looking, I should say, is probably better, versus building actual bridges. And I think that's probably what you mean, is something that
Right.
you see constantly on trails. Those opportunities for soliciting funds for those things are maybe out there. And I think what we need to do on that trail, that the crossings there where it's a little bit wet, we need to definitely put that onto our work project after we get through with this Janice Sullivan trail here. I think to complete the Bowden loop there, the other trail around, we're going to want to get that next is for some of the maintenance that he's doing there. I don't know, and Jack, you may know of somebody that has, I know Casellas do have a sawmill that can slice a log in half to put a flat surface on like a 10-inch, log that way you could put two of them together and make them, a nice plank boardwalk. I don't know if anyone else knows of anybody that has a sawmill.
Glenn, I'm not sure, but I don't think Sonny's operating that mill anymore. But
Okay,
I can talk to Julie to see if they are, but I don't think he's doing it anymore.
yeah, probably not.
I think I was the last person to have something split for a job I was doing. Then,
Okay. Jack, did you
Glenn?
know?
Yeah, I don't know if any of Henry Luther's family are running the mill on the corner of Moosup Valley and Plainfield Pike.
oh, I didn't know about, okay.
I can
Okay,
try to
that's
check for that.
Yeah, if you could run by there, I don't know, or check and see if they're, I mean, I used to buy lumber from George Luther, so I don't know whether anyone's doing anything there. Joyce, did you have something?
Yes, yes. Remember when Larry Taft came from Audubon, you were talking about opportunities. Remember, he seemed willing to work with our acquiring their small pieces of protected wetland that are around Bowdoin or, Grot or that entire area. That might be something we want to recheck on. He would want us to be following Audubon rules, but he must have been satisfied that we are doing things in perpetuity and, working diligently. So if you maybe, Glenn, wanted to recontact Larry, they did sell the Spencer house, so they are eliminating some of their, issues.
Okay, I think we can certainly reach out to them. I'm not sure whether that's a top priority. I think if they were willing to do something, they'd probably also reach back out to us. And I think us getting on the map here with both the Janice Sullivan and the Bowdoin property lends well to us. So it'd probably be better to wait just a little bit more until we have the Janice Sullivan in a position that we're show worthy, I'll say, to reach out to them to show them what we've done.
We can invite
But
him for the 18th.
Yeah.
Yes,
good.
that was my thought too, that if we were involved with them in these small parcels, they would maybe enjoy being a part of that and get recognition.
Yeah. All right. That's a good idea, Jack, to add him to the list. We'll discuss at the next meeting all the people that we want to make sure we are inviting. So when I send out the invitations, when we send out the invitations, we'll make sure that we're not missing people like that. If we can think of anybody else we need to invite. All right, so let's move to old business and the heritage estates. Hopefully Janice Sullivan, we should change it to Janice Sullivan Conservation Area. Land trust days, we know we're targeting September 18th with all full steam ahead. Scheduling the town council meeting just to pass a resolution. We need to get that on their calendar and agenda. I would think it would be appropriate to try and do it either the meeting right before our land trust days, so it would be significant, so the council meeting just before September 18th. I mean, all it's going to be is a quick resolution. We can reach out to our council president and the town manager to get that. But I think that would be the appropriate meeting, unless anyone else has a different idea that would be,
That sounds good.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay.
And I guess that was the question I had, is if we wanted to get onto the town council meeting, is that something that we would just coordinate ourselves with the council members, or we'd go through the planning department?
I'd probably send it to both the planning department through Russell, but I don't think this particular then, you know, we'll address it through Russell, and if he wants us, or John, if you want to say that you can reach, I hate giving you extra chores there, but you see Russell, and if you can ask him whether he wants us to reach out to the council and to the town manager for adding this to the agenda and say, you know, we're looking at it for, you know, one of the September meetings. I know we got to watch the meeting calendar because of the way they work with Labor Day and stuff. But if you want to touch base with Russ and see whether he wants us to directly just copy him and directly make the arrangements with the council for that.
Yeah, I'll speak with him and I'll send you guys an email with an answer in the next day or two.
And
Okay.
the town
Thank you, John.
clerk, I can't remember her name right now, but she coordinates the town council's agenda, I believe.
Yeah.
So Joanne, I think her name is, right?
Or
I
number
think
Joanne,
Joanna,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know if we, you know, if John could go see her, I think she could add it and get approval from the town manager and maybe get this done quicker, maybe. I don't know, it's just a different approach, that's all.
yeah, well, obviously she's the paper coordinator, and
Yeah.
we know that that's a very important person because if they're reading it, then they do it. So absolutely. So John will talk with Russell, and you can email myself or Josh or both of us back and tell us the plan of action, whether we make the arrangements, and then we can go through the proper steps of reaching out. I will definitely tip off, since the council president, Dennis, lives in our district.
That's right.
We can certainly reach out and say that we want, you know, we're adding this or asking this to be on the agenda and get her support on it, which I think we'll definitely have.
She'll support this. I'll be surprised she doesn't.
Yeah. Press release. So what we did the last time is we put together a little bit of a press release that just described what we're doing for Land Trust Days. Does anyone want to take the lead and just organizing some words for the event for next meeting? We can go over it and have it ready to go for the July meeting for review.
I
Yep.
could do that if you sent me what you wanted me to say. In other words, send me information or an example, and I can write it if you want me to.
Linda is an experienced writer. Having written a number of children's books, we're fortunate to have that skill.
Yeah. So Linda, why don't you objectively, the press release is just to tell what what we've acquired, and we can fill in the specific details like the acreage, and that. So I think the press release is telling, we want to send it out to the media and invite them, for the showing up. And then if they don't show up, at least they'll have some, a factual, something from us along, and we can also do what would, take some pictures and send it back to them if they don't provide
Okay.
coverage. But if the, for the basic information we want to get to them is that, on Saturday, September 18th, we're dedicating this 96 acres of land at the Janet Sullivan. The land was acquired with funds from the Coventry Land Trust and the DEM Open Space Grant Program. We will be having a hike after the dedication of the property. So it's mainly just a little bit of information to try and encourage people, to attend in what we're doing. So we can throw some ideas back and forth. If you just want to give it a shot as for what you would think that you'd want to see, and then sometimes an objective view, like yourself, would be able to come up, and then we can just fill in the specific factual details of numbers or something like that. But
Okay.
I think that may
All
be
right.
a good start.
So it was acquired by funds from the Coventry Land Trust and who else?
DEM,
DEM.
Department-
Okay,
to a grant.
okay, for a DEM grant. Okay. All right. I'll see what I can come up with.
Well, if
Should I
you can
also
write books,
mention?
you'll handle this like a piece of cake.
Should I also mention who Anne Sullivan was? She
Yeah.
was a long time, a beloved principal of the Western Coventry schools.
Correct.
That sounds like a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would loop her into it, definitely, because that's what we're, this area was being named for, and, that the land was, purchased from her brother, Fred Strick. So we can wordsmith that. Like I say, you might have some questions that we have to fill in the technical, factual answers, but we can loop it. I do believe we want to loop in Janice Sullivan, and she was, her legacy to the area. So,
Okay.
okay, so
Absolutely.
I'm going to put,
Okay. And when do you want this by?
for the July meeting for us to
July
review.
meeting.
You can send out the draft to Gail Harding, who sends out everything to the members. So she'll distribute, make sure everyone gets it in the packet.
Okay.
Draft letter to neighbors. I took that and I ran it by Josh, to get it to Gail, and I failed to get it to Gail to send it out for this meeting. We'll send it out for the next meeting, but I did a draft letter that we can put together, and we'll have it at the next meeting to approve. And I was thinking, by next meeting, we will have enough work started up there that people can see that we're making progress and things are looking good. So I think we'll have some positive response for the neighbors. I know, Josh, you had a couple conversations. I think I saw you talking with one of the neighbors on our way out the other day.
Yeah, there's a couple who lives in Bramblebush neighborhood. I'm not sure which street they're on. And I believe the wife is a teacher at Western Coventry, and so familiar with Mrs. Sullivan. And then the husband works where I work, so there's funny connection there. But they were very excited about the trail. A lot of people were excited. And there was another local close house to the end of the trail. I chatted with that gentleman, and he was kind of excited. He's got young kids, and looking forward to the access to the bike path from the area. Yeah, so it was good outreach. And I think on that topic of just stories and maybe press releases, I think there's a lot of connections to both like education, the school community, and just community in general for Janice Sullivan. So I think I've got a lot of emails. Maybe we could get some more stories out in advance of Land Trust Days and just kind of keep telling those stories and connections, the kind of history of the community here.
Perfect.
So some of that stuff I can work on, the outreach with all the volunteers. I want to send out a thank you letter. Maybe now that we have the land trust letterhead, I can make it look official.
Good.
When
All right, so
okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to say at the next meeting, I will have that draft neighbor letter for the board, the trust approval. So I will send that off to Gail. And again, now that we have some letterhead that we can attach it to, so we'll approve that see if there's anything else we want to add. But I think it was pretty straightforward and generic, and not anything that would raise eyebrows.
When I looked at the letterhead, I didn't see your name on it, Glenn.
He's the
Did I miss
one.
it? It's
He's
the first one. Okay, maybe when I opened it from a different computer, a littler one, maybe I didn't see it. But because I saw Josh's name, but I didn't see Glenn's.
Yep. Glenn's the very first person on that heading.
Okay, all right.
We had
Okay.
the president of the Alumni Association, Mr. D'Amico, and his wife, who taught, I think, at Western Coventry, and they
Right.
came on the workshop specifically for they thought the dedication for their friend, Janice Sullivan. So they would definitely want, to be involved.
Good.
Good. Good. Thanks, Joyce, on that. All right, moving on to the sign update, funding approval, and I know Rory, you've been working extremely hard at making this all happen. A little frustrating. So I saw the email I saw was the numbers without the tax, obviously.
Yep, I fixed that. Coventry lumber was great. I met with them and with the specifics of the materials we needed. We got nearly everything. Corrected the purchase order because, right, there was a sales tax still applied. That went in and was going before finance, and I think it's moving in the right direction now. So we're just waiting for Coventry lumber. I think John said Coventry lumber has to just get back and accept the PO and then hopefully deliver the materials to my neighbor, and then he will be able to start as soon as that gets together.
Yeah, I can confirm that Coventry Lumber has the purchase order.
Yep.
So, the original salesperson that you had worked with, he wasn't in. So there was another contact that
Yep.
that I was working with, and they're going to coordinate on their end. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them as
Perfect.
far as delivery goes.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Thank you,
Excellent.
John.
So, yeah, that's good. Good work. And obviously we got to get that material going here so we can get ready for that sign for the September event. Perfect.
Yep.
All right, task worksheet. Dennis has been our person maintaining the task worksheet and can give us a little update as for where we think we're heading or going.
Okay, at this point here, starting with task A, we're 60% done. And the main thing we're gonna have to start doing, Jack and I guess Josh, is start to mark the trail. So that would be the next item. For the parking area, we're 50% done. We're gonna kind of level it out and then see if the town can do something. If not, I'm not sure how we want to approach that at the moment. Task E is totally complete. That was general cleanup. There's nothing left there to do.
Wow.
Erosion control, we're going to be using wood chips. That would be the process. So that's in the works. I'm going to put it up where all the rocks up the trail part, so they have a nice even walkway going up instead of going over those rocks, maybe falling, twisting an ankle. So that's still in process. Right now, I guess we could call that like maybe 90% complete. What do you think, Glenn?
I think you're correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right, now the next item, information packet is in process, but that can hold off. Event support. Roy, you're still going to be doing raffle.
Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
you have a copy of the latest update on the letterhead too,
For the
right?
leadhead, yep. Thank you, John.
And then let's see. Again, support supplies. Okay. And our next work day, as well as marking trails, do we want to go to task I and start doing kiosk? I think we might want to consider doing that. If we know where we want to place it, our next work, we should, day, whatever day that's going to be. I would hit that one. What
Yep.
do we think?
Definitely. I think we install it and put that on our next work event, next work party. That will be part of the work that people can be doing, installing the kiosk. Yep.
All right. And Jack, you can help me with your truck bringing the material, right? Please.
Say again?
Yeah, the material, we can load up your truck?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And setup is the last thing we do. And that's, we can do that sometime, actually at the beginning of September or the same day or a couple days before that. And That's
Yep.
pretty much where we are right now. That's as simple as it is. I think we're doing pretty good. If we get these kiosks in, kiosks, we'll be in good shape and the sign follows through. We'll put that sign in maybe the first week in August, or second week in August, or even the end of August if it had to be. So that's pretty much it. That's it. I think we're doing pretty good.
Good.
And we have this worksheet, the task is right here. It's very simple. We just got to apply.
Yep. All right, well,
Time
that's
frame.
great, Dennis, in track. I think our biggest challenge right now will be the parking and getting some material there just to level that out. Now that we've got it all trimmed nicely, we just need to do a little bit more just so people can park there comfortably without worrying about the tiny little stumps and things. So I will make that my action item to check with DPW and see what they can do for us over there. And they can do that almost any time, but I can see if I can set up a meeting to go meet over there and to
Is
show them
Chuck-
what we're looking to
Is
do.
Chuck still working there or did he retire?
I think Chuck is done. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
John may know. John, do you know if Chuck is? I know he was talking about retiring.
Yeah, I believe he's on his way out. I don't know that he's retired quite yet, but
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to say one way or the other.
Well, I'll reach out to Chuck to see. Anyways, he's got some contacts and certainly has helped us accomplish and knows exactly what we've been trying to do. So he's a good liaison to start with. So I will reach
Glenn,
out to
you had
him.
talked about the possibility of using some of the gravel that was on site for backfilling that. Do you think that's still an option?
That is always an option if we can't, if they bring a machine, the town brings a machine, they can grab some of that gravel from up above just for the base leveling. And then, the little bit of crushed asphalt on the top of that, like we sort of did over at
Bone property.
the other entrance at the Bowden would be, it sort of solidifies it and holds it in place. So I think that, the best thing is to show them, we've got some gravel already piled up along the side there, a couple of payloader loads of that, bucket loads would level out fairly quick. And then, 1 or 2 loads of the crushed gravel stuff, the ground up pavement would probably
The asphalt.
solidify.
Yeah.
Yep, the asphalt. So we'll let them, I'll swing by and I'll talk to Chuck and I'll give him a call and see whether he can work as liaison for us on this project there to make that happen.
Yeah, let me know if you have success with that. I know there was another volunteer this past weekend who's got a little tractor, a little maybe similar to yours, and he was more than willing to bring it over and do any heavier, we'll say, landscaping work or engineering type work if we needed
Nice.
support moving that concrete stuff out of the way, etc. So if you need
Perfect.
support there.
Yep, great. So I will run with that. I'll talk to Chuck tomorrow or the next day and see what we can do, and then I'll let you know, Josh, if we need any additional stuff. So that should, based on what Dennis is keeping track, and if we keep moving, we should be fairly solid for what we want to do. All right. Any other discussion on Janice Sullivan property?
I guess just the same. I don't think I got dropped here.
What's that, Jeff?
Oh, he's locked up.
I think he got froze out, yeah.
He got froze locked out.
Oh, he's locked up. Okay.
Yep.
Can we back up on the here? Is Josh back?
No,
Oh, I thought he came back. The Heritage Estate. Okay, here we are. 5.14, draft a letter to neighbors. Are we?
Yeah.
Can that come off or we still have to do that?
No, that's going to be at the next meeting, Dennis.
Okay, all right, okay, I got you. I just as a double check, I wanted to make sure, that's all.
it's gonna be draft, it's actually gonna be approved letter to neighbors, so because the draft is, we'll review it and then approve, but I can stay right on.
Okay, all right, just a double check, all right.
Sorry, my
Josh?
connection was unstable for a second, but Rory, one other, another volunteer, if you run into challenges with the signs, there was another volunteer who, has made some signs and has some experience and might have some materials too. So if you
Perfect.
run into any more hurdles or it feels like that may be delayed, I think we got a backup option.
Backup, good. Thank you.
Jo- Josh,
Always good to have a backup.
thinking of the future for Bolton property,
Yep,
we need
Okay,
those
good
little,
idea.
we need,
Yeah,
that's something we could look into. That's something we've been trying to do since we put the trails in for crying out loud.
Yep.
all right. Great.
So maybe we can work two things in parallel here,
Mhm.
all
Like it.
All
right.
right, good. Grasset property, I sent Russ an email to, say that now that the budget has been approved, obviously, the past couple of town council, and they've been busy trying to get this budget through, and now that that's passed and we're moving forward at least, I sent them an email so we can get scheduled for an executive session. I did not hear back from him, so Josh, if you could kindly, not Josh, John, you can kindly nudge him on that this is important now to move. I know the council, was tied up, but now we need to, because I'm sure Gary and George want to know whether the town's interested in doing this, so we need to get that next step done.
Right, so Russell and or I will follow up with the town manager. I think that's probably the best point of
Yeah.
contact to get that going. And we'll get him on board and try to set something up.
Okay. Yeah, the sooner the better. Obviously, with the price of properties and things going around in circle, I don't want to have to renegotiate at this point, or I think we're in a good spot. So, all right, thanks, John. If you can tell Russ, that's really important for us to move so we can get this project going too. McGuire property got no further response from
McGuire,
Andrew McGuire. So, I gave him our last numbers of ballpark stuff that we're thinking, as we discussed in our session, in that range, and he never responded back. So I think for now, we just put this on the back burner. We can pull it from the agenda. He may be,
okay,
stewing on this a little bit. Obviously, he's stuck because the property's landlocked, but maybe he thinks with the price of property going around that there's some drive on landlocked property. I don't think there is, but if he doesn't want to sell it at a reasonable rate, or at this point, I don't think there's much we can do.
all right, so it's off the agenda until such time as he
Yeah.
notifies us, all right, off the agenda. Correct?
Correct.
Okay,
We won't cover that. We'll keep it in the back of our
in the
head
back,
here.
yeah, I'll put it in the holder file.
Yeah, the old file.
You want
Moving
to
on
send like
land
just a reminder to Mr. McGuire, or I'm assuming maybe you've already done that to kind of second
Yeah,
attempt.
I sent them, sent the email and got no response. So that sort of tells me, that he's not.
And it's been 3 or 4 times,
Okay,
he hasn't responded.
okay.
Yeah. So he's, again, he's probably not in a hurry, but, he's paying some property tax on something that he can't do something with, but maybe he thinks he can. So don't know. Okay, the next issue on our agenda is Leah Kavanaugh's property, and we're working at the possible acquisition of development rights and trying to get an appraisal so we can have further discussion on potentially acquiring the development rights.
John, no,
John,
Yeah,
Oh.
there I am. All right. Yeah, so like last time, it's just been tough trying to get in touch with people. I did hear back from one person, but by the charter, we need to have 3 different people to get back to us so we can put it out to bid and have make an informed decision. So I'm taking a bit of a different approach. I'm just sending out a bunch of emails rather than reaching out to 2, 3 people at a time. I'm just casting a wide net. And I'm gonna wait to see, if I
Who
do that,
responds?
somebody's gotta get back to me. So that's my my new approach this time. And I'm gonna make that a priority to try to get that by next meeting.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
No, it's a tough environment to get anybody.
Real estate. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, now's not the time.
Okay. All right, so that's where we stand on that. So no additional action needed there. We'll still wait to keep that on the agenda for the next meeting. All right, going on to our ongoing issues and discussion actions that we've been taking, drones, cost comparison. Any follow-up, further follow-up on that?
Yep, I spoke with Mark Fisher. He's the licensed drone pilot. He's all out, this summer. He's working in the city of Lynn. But we agreed that we would touch base mid to late July to see if we couldn't get him to do some drone work for us. I told him about the land trust days on September 18th. He actually thought that's a preferable time to do drone footage, is like fall when the trees are thinning out just a little and you get some more color. I did ask him about a cost for that. He's willing to cut us a break. He usually gets about $5,000 for a 3 to 5 minute video that he puts together, because he uses hand cameras as well as drones, and they're kind of, I think, they're high production, they're commercial pieces. But he was thinking he could do something for us for like a minute or so of drone footage with some either narration or wording and music, kind of like Kevin LaRose did for us for about $500.
Oh,
So
good.
that might be a little more doable. He likes the project. He likes what we're doing. So he'd be willing to work with us on that as well. So he's on my calendar to circle back with, like I said, mid-July. And I've already told him about the land trust days as well. So I think that's promising.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Great.
And he's licensed and insured, so that will meet the town's requirement.
All right, thanks, Rory. That's good. Moving on to the boundary markers and the tree screws.
Yes, the infamous tree screw. You'll be happy to know. I was working with Michelle at Home Depot. She was super helpful. She was able to secure everything, and so they are ordered. And I have a call with her. She said call on Thursday. That's when she expects them to get in, and then I can go and pick them up. So we can get that going. I don't have them in here yet, but they're coming to Home Depot. So
Okay.
All right, that's perfect, because that's one of our fall projects. That we wanted to get as much of the property lines that we know for sure and get these things going up. So that will also help advertise our properties by having these little signs up. Great.
I ask one question.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
you still got the signs? John?
Yep. So I do have the signs. They
Okay, all
they were
right.
left over in Brian's office when I took
Okay,
over.
all right.
And, I have them tucked away.
All right, okay, good, great.
Great. Kiosk, any updates or additional? We know we're going to work on a couple of kiosks here, and I think maybe that's our main priority, just to get the ones up that we were just talking about here for Janet Sullivan. We got the 2 that we wanted to get into position at each end of the trail to start, and then a third kiosk that we had talked about to install down at the end of Trestle Trail at the entrance of the Bowden property.
Right.
And those are, I think, Dennis and Josh and Jack and Rory and Linda and Joyce. I think those are our 3 priority kiosks for this year to get those up and in position. Obviously, the Janice Sullivan ones we need to do for our opening, but one other project, the entrance to Trestle Trail for the Bowden one. And I had, the couple times I walked that Bowden property, some people had walked, were walking on it and using it and coming in from Trestle Trail. So I think it'll be very helpful so people know that it's an official trailhead there.
Okay, we still have one kiosk needs to be repaired, and that's at Stellar Hall. That's a real disaster, but that's out probably to the fall again.
Yeah,
As a
I think
repair job.
we will, after we complete our work this summer with Janice Sullivan, and then we got to move over to Stella Hall. So we will keep that, Dennis. That's something that has to be done over there for sure. General trail system discussions, maintenance requirements.
I guess, maybe one question on kiosks, right? Especially for the one at the Trestle Trail entrance to Bowden. Is that something we'd need to partner with Parks and Rec or DEM to get permission to put it in? Or I guess it would end up on our property. I don't know how far out the right of way is on the bike path, 15 feet, 20 feet or something.
I think we put it right at the end of what we feel is our property there. I don't think, I don't, unless somebody's going to go out there with a survey or whatever, we can notify DEM so that we're putting a signage there, so just that they're aware that the entrance to our property will be, or the entrance to the Bowden Trail will be marked, just so they have, I don't know how much maintenance the DEM, they do some obviously out there, but I think if the location, it would be without a surveyor to mark the right of way. If you look at the old deeds on the right of way, that some places it's 50 feet wide, some place, from one edge to the other, some places less.
Sure.
So it's a really, but it probably as a courtesy, we should probably notify them just to say that, our trail that connects to their trail. It might be something too, as they develop, they supposedly, I heard they've got the rest of the money to complete the greenway to the Connecticut state line there, that, these things, as they add trails and maps and stuff that they can, on their website, Recreation in Rhode Island or whatever, we can, have a link. So when someone's looking at Trestle Trail, they can see, oh, there's a Bowden Trail going off of there, and that maybe is something. So it's like another partnership to keep involved with. Okay, good point.
Yeah, it'd be
Josh.
nice to
Thanks.
get that advertising.
Yeah.
Or just, the trail map awareness. And I guess I was also thinking just for access, for hauling a kiosk out there, it might be nice to get the ability to drive down the bike path or something. I know sometimes, I don't know if it's DEM or Parks and Rec that's out there with like an ATV or something, just for movement of the material.
Oh, I thought Dennis and Jack were going to carry it.
We have
I
four,
would like to see that as well, but
4 mules we pack up when we do this heavy walk. Right, Jack?
Definitely.
I'm one of them, Jack's the other
it
one.
is right on the equestrian trail, so perfect.
Yeah, good point, because we would have to, if we were to use access, if we want a motor vehicle. My little tractor actually made it all the way down, because on the initial part when we were working down there, I was able to take, when the mower deck is off on my little tractor, so I can actually carry that stuff.
Okay.
That would work perfect. Glenn.
Mhm.
That would work
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Jack, we don't have to be
So-
mules now. We're all set.
All right, trail system discussions, maintenance requirements, and Linda brought up the point about the 3 wet spots on the Bowden that we need to address. Now, beyond that, on Trails Day, did anybody do any little bit of clipping and trimming out on that particular trail?
Yes, Yep.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
How did it come out?
I mean, I think it looks great. We had,
Yeah.
I think 8 people there. And we cruised the whole, yellow, blue, white loop and,
Yeah.
the whole 2.5 miles or whatever. And, trimmed everywhere that it was kind of overgrown, which was mostly in those wetter areas. But we pushed it back a good, 1 to 2 feet, through there. But yeah, so I think it looks pretty good.
Excellent. That's good.
There are a number of downed trees across the path
Yep.
that require chainsaw work.
All right, so we still got chainsaw work on the trail, the long trail
The yellow
around.
trail.
Okay.
The yellow, Jack, or the white, or both?
The yellow before you get to the
Yellow.
white.
Okay, all right, I
That's where
got
the
you.
majority of the trees that are down.
Okay, I
The
got
white
you.
trail does have one of the trees that we had markers on that's down, and then there's a couple leaners.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
we were checking the markings, there were a couple trees that had trailblazers that were down. But
Alright.
in general, I thought all the blazes were in really good shape. Considering, I don't know what they are, 2 years old, 3 years old. Looked good.
That sounds about right, Jack? About 2 or 3,
About that.
maybe?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll try and plug that. If I get an evening time to go for a walk, I'll carry my saw with me and work on that trail. I did the other trail and, down to Trestle Trail and earlier, and that took care of a couple of leaners and a couple that were down, but I didn't do the going out and around, which is I'll come in from Williams Crossing and work on that side and then come in from the other way. But so we can plug along and try and get those down trees out of our way. Okay, good update on that. Stella
Maybe-
Hall.
You mentioned Williams Crossing, maybe a kiosk there as well. I don't know if we advertise or use that parking
There's
location.
parking places we had put in at the top of the trail, Williams
Yeah.
Crossing. So a kiosk could go there also, because we have, what is it,
Mhm.
Jack, 4 or 5 parking
I
places?
think 4 spots.
4 spots.
Yep.
Where stays asphalt comes right down to the end, and then the trail starts basically right at the end of Williams Crossing, the asphalt part. Kiosk can go right there where the parking places are.
Great.
Yep. Okay, Stella Hall cleanup time frame. I think we said we'd push this back past, that'll be the fall, probably now at this point, past our September 18th Land Trust Day. So I think we just keep it on the agenda, but we've got so much work ahead of us. We'll wait until that will be a fall project. Let's see, GIS mapping and Josh has been championing that and working along with getting Eric and getting closer. So Josh, give us where we're at.
Yeah, I just saw the update today. So thank you, John. I think you helped coordinate and set up the email account. Apologies if there was any confusion on that on our
That's all
request from our end for email address. But yeah, we should have passwords. I think everyone's got the link. Maybe it just went to select few.
I believe
So I
that's-
haven't logged in yet to kind of poke around and see what it's all about. But that's what I'm looking to do in the next couple weeks. And then try to coordinate a time to meet with Eric and see how we can use it to our advantage. So I know this started before my time on the land trust. So I don't know if there's a vision or kind of thoughts of what we wanted to do with it.
It was to get the mapping up onto a town website. And also to use, which now it will be on the state website, if I understood Eric in the beginning when we started this process. So it's given advertising, it does the trails for you. You just copy it, so to speak, and bingo, you can walk it. Because we have a map that he sent me that we did the 3 trails plus 2 new trails. But when I talked to him, we're gonna have to take the new trails out because we didn't have a chance to mark them. And then that map would be just for the blue, the yellow, and the white trail.
Okay, so target would just be Bowden property at first.
Yeah, that was the game plan. And then from there, we were gonna cross over to Sullivan property. Because at the time.
And
we
then
had-
John, sorry, I don't know if there was any challenges or anything that you learned in talking with Eric in setting it up, or things that maybe we should know.
No, I didn't hear anything about specific challenges or anything like that. I think it's just as simple as, setting up a time frame and going from there.
Okay,
Yeah, and whatever you guys want to do with it, that's, the account's there now, so
awesome.
you want to do to use it.
The test run, we started in the beginning, was to use the Bowden property as our first test. As the training session for this process.
Okay, so when I set up a training session or try to coordinate with Eric, should I plan for all of us to be involved, make it like a work day kind of test day?
Right now, if we're going to do the Bowden property, regardless, that's what we should do, in my opinion. Weekends are really my time now, you know what I'm saying? If you did it during the week, I couldn't get there. So what I'm saying is, if we plan for a weekend, I'm all set. I'm willing
Okay.
to go.
I'll reach out to Eric. I had made a tentative proposal for this Thursday. I don't know that that's going to work in the afternoon or for everyone to catch up. But I'll try to find a better day. He mentioned, July. See what I can get set up and see if I can get something sooner. If we can do kind of maybe separate sessions or smaller sessions, maybe I can get a couple days and figure it out, learn the program. And then, like I said earlier, I'd like to maybe utilize some volunteers to get out there and do it. And, get them interacting as well, if that's something we're comfortable with. I guess I need to figure out more about the program before I go out there and do that.
But do we agree that we would do the Bowden property?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure about anything as far as rules or anything goes, but I know, if multiple members meet for a quorum, that could be constituted as a regular meeting. So I don't know if that should play into the decision making. Again, I don't know the specifics. It's just something to keep in mind. So
Can I-
you can even put it
I
on.
mean to interrupt. Can I ask a quick question? Could you consider this a work party?
I'm
Because
sorry.
eventually we are going to put up boundary markers on the Bowden property.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
this,
I'm not exactly sure.
okay.
It was just something to consider.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, John. Thank you.
Oh, I was thinking, because Eric had come in the past to a meeting, so maybe it would be the benefit of everybody if he came to a regular meeting and shared a screen with everybody and showed
Yeah, that might work.
again.
Yeah.
Be helpful.
Yeah, he had mentioned it would be easier in the field, but yeah, I don't know how to circumvent open meeting if it becomes that, or if it's like a work and or training party. Okay,
Yeah, I guess, the guidance we've always been given is if you're working to do like we were doing this weekend, and we're discussing business, voting on things and anything like that, but just working to complete a project, that's one thing. But if we're having open discussions on, well, we want to do this, and this, and that, once you get more than now, since we're 7, 4 is a quorum. So if you get 4 people, having a meeting, then that violates the open meeting. So it's, err on the side of caution in most cases, but the work parties that we've been doing are we've been told that they don't require open meetings posting.
No, and that definitely makes sense. Yeah, I was just a quick thought. I didn't know if anybody had thought about it, but
yep, no,
that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So I would say follow that guidance.
no, but thank you, John, for bringing it up. I think it's a good, like you said, it's a good point to consider. Fun.
Okay. Updates on trail work completed. I think we've pretty much already covered that. So in our various discussions, unless someone else has something additional to add, we can move on to item 7.
Can we take this last item off the agenda?
Yep.
Okay, 644, right, is off.
And I think it's a sort of a duplicate of the other things that
Right,
we're doing.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, issues of interest for July 2021 agenda. So July 20th, third Tuesday in July. I have one issue. I'm gonna give up my chairmanship, so I will still be a member of the land trust, but I will be foregoing. I have a lot of conflicts in scheduling, so I would like to add that to the agenda for July 2021. I'm not going anywhere, but I think we can hopefully choose another chairman at that meeting. So no real issues, but time commitment. So if we can add that to the agenda at that point. And any other agenda items that we want to add for July 2021?
Don't have anything else, but thank you for your, your time as chair.
Yes, thank you very much.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
here. No, thank you. Yep, you're all welcome. That's all. As Dennis says, it's a team effort. We all work good, and we will continue pushing our projects here. I'm hoping. Just another thing that hasn't been on our agenda, Camp Green. John Studley, do you have any updates for that property? Has anything come before planning?
No, nothing has come before us concerning Camp Green, no.
Okay, so can we add that back to the Dennis and Josh for the trust members here? Put that back on the agenda.
Okay,
Camp Green, I have some discussion about that.
so we'll have Camp Green and we'll talk about discuss.
Yeah,
And-
just add an agenda item there. Just
Yeah.
put that back on.
Where's Camp Green? I don't know that location.
It's Hopkins Hollow Road, 323 Hopkins Hollow Road. The property that we looked at in the past. It's been on and off the market and stuff, so I just want to add it back to see if we can get a status update on that. And so
Okay.
we'll add that to the agenda. It's 40 acres of land, just so you know, it's a 40 acre parcel.
Beautiful parcel.
Yeah, I don't have anything else for July 20th.
Okay,
Nope.
all right.
Before we adjourn, can we use our calendar and come up with some dates to start continue work at the,
Oh. Yeah, that's the other thing that I should have done while we're talking on the past worksheet. I wanted so before we adjourn, going back to 5.1.6 tax worksheet, we should set our next work party date, so we can plan on that, because I think we really have two more work parties, but if we get as much accomplished as what we did this last work party, we did a lot of work. We can get a lot more, we'll be really feeling good. So I know Josh had mentioned he's got some time that he's not going to be available in July. It doesn't mean that we can't proceed, but we can set a date. I know we got the 4th of July weekend coming up, so that's going to be pretty busy. So people.
Yeah, I'm just out for the first 2 weekends, the 3rd and the 10th. So, the latter half of July is fine. And I think that gets us away from kind of 4th of July.
okay, if I can back up for a second.
Yep.
Some weekend dates in June. I don't know if we want to look at that. To do one or two, or do none, and go strictly to July. I don't know. How do we
No,
want-
I'm free the 26th of June.
yeah, that looks good for me too, June 26th.
I have a graduation party.
Yeah, I'm booked for June.
Okay, well, okay, I guess we'll go into,
Yeah, but feel free. We don't all need to be there. Don't get a quorum.
all right, what do we want to do? Pop into July now?
Mhm.
Well, looking
Glenn,
at,
what do you think? I was thinking of doing a kiosk to be, at least putting one in place.
well, so let's think of this, the work that a smaller group could do is
Okay,
kiosks. I mean, we gotta dig holes, right? and
Right,
pour
that's-
cement. And that's the biggest part, just like we
Yeah.
did with the other.
so you're gonna need at
that-
least 3 to 4 people because of
Mhm.
the weight and the leveling
Right,
and
holding, leveling,
extra
holding.
free
it together.
hands and so forth.
Yep.
Right. So,
All right, I'm open to any suggestions at this point.
so my husband would probably be able to help. I'm not, I'm not a he-man, so, but the two of us could probably come on the 26th if you wanted to do it then of June. And
right.
then, or we're looking at the 17th of July. And then Josh could join us too.
17th
let's
is
do-
good.
All right, let's do June 26th. Wait a second. Jack, you said you had a graduation. on
Jack,
June
yeah, he's got a
26th.
Graduation on the 26th.
Okay,
Right,
so
so
let's
let's go-
look at 17th of July.
All right, at
That's
this
good with
point,
me.
okay, at this point,
That's
are we
good.
moving to July?
The work group.
All right.
You
So
know,
we'll-
on the 26th, if it's later in the day, the graduation party, I can make it in the morning. I just don't know, I don't have that in front of me, the time.
All right, not to sound like sticking them on, but it looks like June might not work if we're gonna do that bulwark or putting up that kiosk.
Right.
Right.
What do you
So,
think, Glenn?
yeah, I think July 17th sounds like it works for a lot of people enough to make the kiosk work. So I would say go with July 17th and then come up with another date, maybe later.
Glenn, what's your suggestion?
I'm good with July 17th. I
right,
mean,
'cause
let's,
you got-
let's go with July 17th, 9
Okay.
AM and kiosks and, everything else that we can do that day. And then hopefully we'll be pretty close if we can get Public Works to work on the little bit of parking stuff that we need. All right, July 17th, and then we'll have our regular trust meeting on the 20th, so we'll have an update for the 20th ready.
Yeah. And if
What
we
time do
get
we
like a
wanna meet?
list or kind of like, and I know we have the task list, but if we can break that down into little teams and we're as successful as at getting 20 more volunteers to show up, it'd be good to
We can't
have
break
other
this down.
tasks for them.
This is so, I mean, it's broken down so fine now. You can assign a team to each one of these tasks.
Yeah.
I mean, cutting down the trees, we did that. I mean,
So if,
and
for
you
the
can sub,
17th,
go ahead.
just as far as time, I was thinking 9 AM is a good time because that's before the heat of the day.
Huh.
So what are we saying? 9 AM?
9 AM on the 17th, July 17th. And we're meeting at the Sullivan property.
I would say yes, I guess, right? Or no?
Same location. I think we'll start there with the kiosk installation there, and then the kiosk
Okay.
installation at the other. So I think that, I think what Josh is looking for more, Dennis, is the goals for that day will be the 2 kiosks.
Right, that's what
And
we
then-
did last time. The kiosk
And
is
then
the
maybe-
goal. Then the wood chips could be the second goal if we have,
Spreading more wood
Right.
chips. Yeah. on the trail.
If it's a
and
two, if we're sticking to 2 hours, that, I think it brings us about even.
Yep, I think that'll be a good
We're
accomplishment.
doing that when we're gonna do Kiosh, 2 of them. And I'm looking at my other note, we're gonna put the wood chips down on the trail.
Perfect.
Yep, more wood.
At
Well,
Bramble
like I
Bush.
said, if I throw this out there and we get, that same turnout, maybe it'd be a good day to have people paint blazes or something as well.
I don't,
Yeah.
no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Mhm. Okay,
At this point, based on what Jack and I did and what I learned doing it, I think it's important. Jack's already got the layout. It worked good. If Jack can be in charge of that group, then it would work. But we might need Jack because digging those holes and
Yeah, digging
leveling
those
that-
holes, they might have to be dug more than once when you hit a rock that doesn't move.
you know,
Right.
Well, that was the other question, right? Does
Between
someone have an
you,
auger,
me, and
right? And I
Jack,
think I could
if we
ask,
can't get that done in a day, marking those trails, it's shorter than what Jack and I did with the
Yeah.
other.
We can handle that in, a 3-hour stretch, I think.
Because we did all those trails, him and I, we did them all.
well, yeah, I guess I'm thinking for the post holes as well. Not to drag this out, I know we're just gonna set it up, but I think if I cast a wide enough outreach, I could get someone with an auger or something to show up and drill those pretty quick.
If
So,
there's a lot of heavy stone in there based on what we did.
yeah,
across-
it's a tough spot for sure.
So I don't know if, I'm not sure how that works with an arm.
It's the reason it's called Ledge Road.
That's right.
yeah,
You can get somebody with that and come in and let them try, that'd be great.
Mm.
See what I can do.
Yeah,
So I'm
otherwise
just-
if we have to dig them by hand, we have to try and dig them by hand, but it would be, Josh, if you do, I don't know of anyone who's got one of the hand powered augers there, and my tractor is too low to put one of the 3-point hitch augers on. So, but if you do come across somebody, that would obviously potentially save us a little bit of the grief. Again, it's from our experience, it was a little bit difficult in but there's always help mixing the cement. Someone's holding the level, we use 4
That's true,
people
yeah.
to bolt these things together, and each sign is a 4-person job, and we can split that up, and spreading wood chips and stuff, if we have the chips there in advance and doing like we're doing, I think the next couple will be sort of, if I can get some
Easier.
people to what's that? If I can get some people with some pickup trucks, I can load them up at my place, and then we can just go like we did down the trail with that last load out of pickup truck there, just spreading it, when someone's standing, a couple people standing in the back shoveling, and then a couple people coming up behind it and raking them out and packing them in where we need to go for the last couple loads going up the hill. So I'll sort of coordinate, reach out, soliciting help for that there. But the wood chips are out at my place or at one of our places here that we can load up. So we'll talk about that. But all right, so I think July 17th, and that'll work well for our, what is it, July? Yeah.
So July 17th, and we're gonna meet at 9 a.m.
yep,
Is that right?
Yep.
At Bramble
At the
Bush,
Sullivan parking lot.
Okay.
yep,
right.
Our Bramble Bush, I've been
Yep.
meeting the last 2 times, okay. And the
Perfect.
task is gonna put in 2 kiosks and lay out the wood chips. And if we get that done in 2 or 3 hours, that would be good compared. If,
Yep. Okay.
if you can get that guy with the witchamajig,
That would be
that'd
great.
be a big help.
Oh,
But
I'll ask the question. We'll see.
if you know anybody with dynamite,
Then the town waiver may not cover us.
that's right. But if I can look in the future, marking the trail to me now becomes more of an easy task and something can get done in 4 or 5 hours. So if the three of us got out there and we coordinate the way Jack and I did, bingo, we're knocking out left and right.
If there's a weekday that would be convenient to everyone,
Weekdays ain't good for me, Jack.
oh, okay, okay.
I mean,
I
anything
think I
after
have a post hole digger. At
I have
Fanning.
too.
So we're ready for you to come out and dig.
Okay,
So Jack, you're gonna come with your pickup and we'll load up the
Wood
truck, right?
chips. Oh, well, yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
have
and
to
I'll
at
ask
the
around
kiosk.
for others with pickup trucks, see if any of the gentlemen that were out there this weekend are interested as well.
all right.
Get a little caravan.
Thanks. Yeah, Josh, and I'll reach out to you. You and I can talk, and then if we get some people, I'll give, we'll set up the load up time and address and stuff to get the wood chips. Perfect.
All right, so we got a plan. Should be, it worked in the past really good, so it should work now.
Well, yep.
Very awesome.
do
All
we,
right.
do we need a second work party day or is one sufficient?
Do we want to plan in the
Um,
future? Or do we want to wait?
Why don't we see what we get done, because right after that, we
Okay.
will have our regular monthly meeting.
Okay,
Yes, and Linda, I do believe it will take one more after that, and that will probably be for completing the parking area, making sure everything's laid out, and then installing the bigger sign for the Janice Sullivan. So that will probably be coordinated. That will be the work that needs to be done. So it'll be the last little tidy up items that we want to do before our opening. So let's see what we get done, and if it's a good day like this last one, we'll get a lot done. All right. Anything else for this meeting? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I hear a motion?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
I second it.
Seconded by Joyce. All right, we'll do a roll call. We're on the motion to adjourn. Glenn says yes. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
I
Joyce Beretta,
I
Josh Clements,
Aye.
Dennis Green.
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned at 8:10 p.m. I thank everybody for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.